Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang dhammang sanghang namasami. So this is our final evening together until the next evening. I have a very fortunate life. I leave this monastery and go back to another monastery. It's pretty cool, actually. I had no idea what I was getting into so many years ago. I just had an inspiration, went to Thailand, and was very, very fortunate. Never expected anything, really. No game plan. I didn't expect to travel, but I didn't expect not to travel. Yeah, actually, I had no expectation. Just interesting. Anyway, that was long ago. So, a few questions. If we want something good, wholesome for another person, for example, wishing and praying that a relative or close family member can find a job or can earn a living, that is not wanting, but rather goodwill. Yes. So craving is the word, the English word. The Pali word is tanha. And tanha has a deep sense of ignorance in it. Like wanting to move your leg if it's sore is not what we're talking about. Craving has a real sense of ignorance in it. And ignorance not in the sense of being stupid in that way, but really not understanding. And then investing a lot in some sense of ego becoming or resistance to life or whatever. But I want you guys to be happy and you want me to be happy. And it would be crazy if we couldn't do that. So the word English word in wanting is so broad, so very broad, that we tend to use the word craving. What does craven mean in English? Craven? Huh? Cowardly, is it? Is that right? I didn't know that. Hey. Is that right? Anyway. Craven. Oh, there you go. Learn something every day. Anyway, so the word tanha, it's a very powerful word because it's very much about our kind of a wrong identity of who we are and how to find peace and happiness. So there's biological, don't make all that noise. There's biological wanting. Obviously, we want to be comfortable, we need safety. There's nothing wrong with that. But like me wanting, like if I want you to like me, and then I manifest all kinds of things so you like me, that's a different kind of wanting. It's not just a wanting of safety. Or if I really perceive myself to be a bad person and I just want to get rid of things in me, that's not, that's hugely cultural or whatever. So just to review the three types of tanha or craving: bhava, vibhava, kama. Kama tanha is craving sense pleasure. And I'm seeing it more and more as just preoccupation with consuming. Because when you say, sense pleasure, it sounds, oh, you can't have fun, you can't have an ice cream. And so it's not that. It's not like It's not a wet blanket teaching. It's more the mind just being outwards all the time and consuming either thought or information or products or food or music. It's just going out. So listening to music's no problem, or watching a movie is no problem, or having a good meal. That's not what it's about. It's not some horrible asceticism, but it's that mind always just needing to be distracted, I suppose. And our culture is so good at it. They're so good at creating really neat distractions, whatever your interest is, right? So that's that. And as we were saying, I guess it was the last interview, right? I was saying the reason I find that word availability very useful is because also I find the word preoccupied very useful. So if I'm preoccupied with a conditioned, whatever it is, sweet, sour, good, bad, interesting, boring, if my attention is preoccupied, then there's no space for understanding the unconditioned, this enigmatic thing. So that's why you have to wait for nothing, silence, non-definition, not taking a position, just be very open. By not holding to fixed views, the pure-hearted one. Well, what's that about, not holding? Well, if I hold a position, it's like this, then I'm still in an object called intellect. You can use intellect skillfully, but it's this like, silence isn't a position, is it? It's not like, it's not, it's just silence. So this is just kind of very enigmatic. So kama tanha is attachment to sensuality, is one way to look at it. And then bhava tanha is this need to become, or and especially in, like, actually in spirituality, once you start to hear about enlightened beings, or even if you've had a really cool experience in meditation, it's so sweet and so lovely that this need to get it again, or have the God experience or the Nirvana experience, or in a worldly way to become powerful, or whatever it might be. So there's always a sense of me moving towards some projected goal. And goals are fine, like we have a goal to build a meditation hall, but that can be done out of a sense of service, a sense of generosity, a sense of love, of making something good. It doesn't have to be done from craving. If I do the building of monasteries out of craving, I would be a wreck. I want this because I want it for my own identity or my own ego, or I want a bigger monastery than Ajahn Pasano, or some such nonsense, right? I mean, horrible state of mind. Doesn't mean I can't then use the energies I have to try to create something for the benefit of all. That's fine. So craving, very much like ego involved, and so it's rooted in ignorance. And then the other vibhava tanha, bhava means to become, and the vibhava is trying to get rid of. So as soon as I have bhava, I want to go somewhere, then wherever I am is not right. So I'm going to have vibhava. As soon as I want peace as an experience, then non-peace is going to be something I'm trying to get rid of. So then I have a memory of peace. Oh yeah, that was a really good meditation. Be careful. As soon as you say it was a really good meditation, next meditation, where is it? And wherever you are now won't be right, because it's not what you're projecting. And we've all had that one, haven't we? And that's ignorance. Ignorance through memory does that a lot, doesn't it? Like how memory, say memories of resentment. Someone really betrays you, and you're blindsided by betrayal. Gosh, that's hard to recover. It's really hard to recover from that. The psyche gets all a mess. And so then even if one kind of works it through with a therapist or whatever and talks it through, when the memory comes up, it just ignites this whole rebirth of, like I always tell that joke. Let's say someone gets divorced. There's a horrible divorce. I know there are good divorces, and there's lots of people, so it can be done quite amicably, but let's say there's a horrible divorce and terrible, terrible, terrible. And then the person's worked it through, and then they're at some function and their ex is praised. And what comes up? Murderous impulse. And right away the person, no, that's not right. That person's not like that, and just like lost in this memory, right? And it's very real, and that's of each other, just kind of being lost in memory and so on. So to actually see memory as an object and see how that ignites a kind of sense of self, but not buy into it, is knowing memory is memory. So even trying to get rid of, like, let's say I have strong resentments towards someone, trying to get rid of it, that's not it either, because that's still, I'm someone who should forgive. I shouldn't have these resentments. It's been 5 years now, and I really should, and I should, and you know that doesn't work. Whereas if you just say, I hate that person. Oh, this is what hatred feels like. Yeah, really, I'd like to kill that person. Wow, that's really strong. But at least you're there, rather than, oh gosh, I shouldn't feel that way. Hopefully the Buddhists don't find out. And then someone tells you you're a Buddhist and you shouldn't have that, which is even better, right? You know, now you're a Buddhist, you shouldn't feel like that. I can. So Bhava and Vibhava, bound up with culture, bound up with self-image, with memory, you know, like what a person should, like for monks, what I should be. And you know, what so you have these kind of idealized monks and kind of mythical monks, and then there's me. You know, and I'm not mythical, I'm just a guy that's struggling like everyone else, and I have flu and emotions and things like that. So the kind of idealized should be's, those are very, very strong in all cultures, So the way to go beyond tanha is to know it as an object. And then the sense of self that gets born from that. It's very, very, very tricky. So wanting is natural. I want you to be happy. We want all beings to be happy. But if you're not happy, and I can't do anything about it, now that changes the ball game, doesn't it? So then you're a real close friend of mine. I really want you to be happy. And you're doing things which are stupid. And you won't listen to me. You don't have to do that. And you just what am I going to do? And that hurts. You know, that really hurts, because I don't want you to be hurt. So seeing someone who you love suffer, and you can't do much about it, you have to just bring it back to the heart. Yeah, but life is this way. You know, life is unsatisfactory. People do things which are hurtful, and to come to that your own hurt around that, and oh yeah, but life is this way. You're kind of constantly accepting life, doing your best. So there's all kind of, like with kids and parents, they're so strong these energies. So I was talking with Jane, but you seem to be doing homeworks every year now. It seems to become a tradition. What's the homework? So 3 years ago we did non-resistance on a Christmas retreat. So I thought, listen, if you're interested in homework, I'm not going to check your exercise book next year to get into the retreat. Don't worry. But well, I think it's very rewarding. It's, first of all, this idea of making something conscious, as opposed to analyzing it, figuring it out, sort it out, not doing anything about it, just letting it become conscious. So for instance, if someone I love is just doing something which is very harmful, I know it's going to be harmful, I can't do anything about it, and I feel hurt, then make conscious that hurt. Right? Oh, not try to fix it, not try to fix them. Do the best I can, obviously. Oh, this really hurts, and hurt is like this. So that's making conscious the way things are. That is a very important exercise in so many ways. And then I think what the feedback I got from various people is make conscious all the stresses in the head. There's a lot that we hold on to just in the eyes and in the temples, And rather than let all of that stress and whatever go into thought and analysis and judgment, where we're just chasing our tail around with a thinking mind, to kind of short circuit that, notice it, say, yeah, and how do my eyes feel now? So make conscious the eyes, and make conscious the temples. You make conscious the brain. You can feel the brain in tension, and I think that as a go-to, as opposed to the habitual go-to of thought, it's just always there. So I think that would be fruitful, and it's in the same vein. Then also make conscious the heart chakra. Just again and again and again, become really in contact with that, and not to stop it, not to get some kind of the danger with this heart thing is that people want some expanded feeling of universal love, and yeah, good luck. And sometimes it's there, but sometimes it's just nothing special. But if you are in contact with it, you'll be surprised at how much it has to tell you. Let's put it that way. But if you're doing a practice to get something called the open heart, whatever that is, then you're stuck with another bhava tanha. It's another becoming. So the idea of making conscious a bodily feeling and making conscious an area, so the heart and the hara are really powerful places to understand yourself. That would be good homework. I think that would be fruitful. And it's not something that you cannot do. It's not something that you attain. It's just you kind of give it a go. You remember, do your homework, that kind of thing. I found it very fruitful, that whole way of making conscious. That's why I think I speak in that, make conscious the way things are, like sound. And there's silence. Make conscious. And there's silence. Lovely. Those are available. Anyway, you could try that if you wanted. So when this is from a Zoomer. Are they like boomers? Zoomers. A Zoomer. When I am faced with stress at work, I feel increasing discomfort all over my body. I cannot pinpoint the exact cause of the discomfort. Is it from the wanting to have all the knowledge I should have, the lack of knowledge when I do not know things, the fear that people may not think I'm good enough, or all of them? Is it necessary to be able to know the exact feelings and perceptions for the discomfort, or should I just bear and sit with uncomfortable body sensations? But when I say no feeling, I say no feeling, really no feeling, not conceptualize it. So it seems to me the question here is the person wants to know the reasons. So it's all kind of conceptual. As soon as you're conceptualizing a feeling, you're not feeling. So if I feel irritated at someone, and then I think, why am I so irritated? I should be irritated. What are they doing? And I'm not with the irritation. But if I say, oh, make conscious the feeling of irritation, oh, it's like that. And then there's also silence. There's also that going on. So this person, yeah, I would say bear and sit with uncomfortable body sensation, but don't just kind of grunt it out. Okay, I use it uncomfortable, but actually make conscious this discomfort. Let it come into consciousness. Maybe talking like boredom, say. Like if we, whatever boredom might be, if we perceive ourselves to be bored, do we really make conscious that perception? Or like the perception of stuckness, whatever that might be, do we make that conscious? Or, oh gosh, this is really boring. Oh, when is this sitting over? That's not being aware of boredom, it's being bored. The difference between being angry and knowing anger, being fearful and knowing fear, being bored and knowing beer. And that's the idea, knowing bored. That's the idea of making conscious. And the more you can do that, the more it will intuitively be the way you approach this whole stream of consciousness. And a stream of consciousness is dualistic. going up and down, sine waves, or whatever, catastrophic graphs or whatever. You're very good at seeing the changing nature of these perceptions and feelings. And as you abide as the witness of change, that takes you to the unchanging. As soon as you witness change, you're no longer engaged in trying to judge it or sort it out or be it or consume it. You just, oh, this is changing. So you take sound now. What's the changing nature of sound? You can't pin that down. You can listen. And then there's the silence, right? So make conscious the way things are is actually very, very profound, as opposed to being heedless and not really waking up to the way things are. And just like when you say, when you go into your room tonight, notice, are you thinking? And what are you thinking? It's just that. You just finished your meditation, mind. It's really, really cool. But when you go into the room, notice what you're thinking. And what is it? Whatever it is. Oh, probably a pattern of some sort. When you wake up in the morning, first thing, what's it like? I like to go to heart chakra first thing. Good suggestion. Create an alarm that the first note opens your heart chakra. Whoa. Whatever you like. It probably won't be gangster rap. I don't know, whatever, but that is a very effective way to wake up, as opposed to me. Horrible way to start the day. So a piece of some notes of piano, or the first thing you hear goes to the heart chakra. And then notice like if you move, like what is the mood of the mind right from the beginning? What is the mood of the mind? And if you incorporate that as an intention when you go to sleep, you'll probably be more aware of it. And usually the mood is, it's conditioned by the previous day's activities. Quite often, what you're worried about when you went to sleep, you'll be worried about in the morning, or it might be some dream state that came up. But what is it? And then make conscious the way things are. It's very, very, very helpful, very, very powerful. And dear Rajan, is it right that dependent origination only applies to the foreground and the background is the unconditioned? Yeah, in a way, but I'm always wary of nailing down things to taking a fixed view. I'm always wary of that. That's this analogy of foreground and background. This is an analogy, but if you just like, you all right there, Garfield? You okay? Oh, you sleepy? You want to go have a rest, or are you faint, or you okay? Okay. Want some water? Okay, good. Take your mask off. Maybe you can breathe more. Okay, you're good. So, if you listen, now awareness. You just listen. Don't make a comment. Just listen. Awareness. Does awareness have a boundary, outer boundary? Does awareness have a center? Is awareness the same as sound? Is awareness the same as the feeling of breathing? Or is it, but is awareness separate from sound? Can't answer that. But what it does, by investigating awareness, you begin to just intuit, well, that's the limit. Can't go beyond that with thought. Again, sound, listen to sound. Is there an outer limit? Is there a center? Is awareness the same as sound? It's separate from sound. And all that kind of, this is what I mean by the mind knowing the mind. It's a kind of interesting exercise where intellect can't go. Like if you say, yeah, the limit is Young and Bloor. No, it's or the center. Yeah, the center is me. Where's the me? Right? So these are enigmatic exercises which stop the mind. So that's why I'm always wary of like these analogies and the words. They have a place, but then get to the place where you don't need an answer, but you are that interesting. It's like Luang Por said this, the quote he liked. This open unknowingness is what I am, not an object I can know. So when this is kind of PhD stuff, right? But it's the most interesting part. The mind knowing the mind, it's kind of a very enigmatic thing because people are looking for an object. So you actually play around. Well, what is awareness? Does it have a boundary? Center? And you're very quiet when you do that. Because as soon as you start thinking, then that's not it. You're not really aware of awareness. You're conceptualizing, especially bringing your mind to silence through inquiry. But there's no answer. But there is silence. There's silence. Like that thing, like is awareness separate from sound? Is it the same? Just silence. And it's so I think if we're really interested in going beyond thought, and we see that thought has its limits, it has its uses, sure, but this realm, it cannot really, it's not the realm of thought. It's not the realm of thought. So you're not dismissing thought, and you begin to appreciate silence, which isn't a conclusion. Silence isn't a conclusion. Thought is. So that's why I'm always wary of getting too conclusive, I suppose, is why. Not that that's wrong. The question's wrong. It's a really fun one, that one. I really like that. I play around with that one a lot. You kind of, then you're not trying to get anything. You're just like, it's a puzzle. But there's the silence. Now, if you touch that silence and you get greedy for it, then the next time you try this, where's the edge? Where's it? And then you're just trying to find a silence in desire again. So it's a very like, your mind is very pure and maybe like the word innocent. It's very, very innocent. Oh, what is it like? And there's the silence. I find that enjoyable. I think I don't. So conclusion. I've left you kind of floating in space. Well, to conclude, I'd like to thank you. Well, how to develop this? And there were some questions on structure and so on. But what is it about a retreat that is so? Well, there are many things which are very, very fruitful. One of them being Kalyana Mitta, that we have this spiritual friendship. One of them that Mickey's cooking and you're not cooking. Not that I wouldn't want your food, but you don't have to be busy cooking. So we have that. But I think it's that we just have this space to explore. We're not being compelled by our responsibilities and duties and distractions. So I would say, in terms of lifestyle, how can you create more space? How can you do that in a way which isn't necessarily about a morning meditation, but that seems to me the time that people can kind of carve out. But in general, in terms of lifestyle, less, not more, is a good mantra to, especially as we get older. If you have more space and you're taking care of your parents, so now is not the time for that. But if you have an option to become more busy, and create more space, I'd say make sure you got enough space. You know, where you're not just compelled by one thing after another. And then what to do with that space? Well, not to just always need to fill it up, but to like be able to just witness a morning, like witness a sunrise, and abide in that kind of open, spacious knowing. Be able to just listen to the birds falling asleep. And I don't know, maybe that's a luxury for people, but I guess once you're retired, it's more and more available. So it's not even like doing you don't want to do meditation as a chore, because then you won't stay with it. If you do it as a curiosity and as like a challenge and so on, then it's great. Those morning sessions are great. So I would say that if you can get into a good morning, even if you like some yoga, right in the mind, use your body, get into the body and do a good long sitting. Over the years, that really, really pays off. And again, I said that earlier, that, you know, we have this yearning, spiritual yearning, all of us. That's why we're here. In whatever way, in cultural way, or whatever we define that. And if I think if we don't answer that yearning, we're going to feel we've wasted this life. You know, we're wasting our time, even though we're very, very good and very, very helpful to humanity and so on, because we're all good folk. We're doing that bit quite well, I think. But just this, what is this yearning for truth or silence or whatever? And if you do honor that every day in a small way, that plays out. That plays out in your perceptions, the themes you're considering, the way you're observing yourself. It really, really, really does. You know, I'm a monk, and that's what I get paid to do. So I can kind of talk in that way and realize there are complexities to life. But if you can, you're making it. But make sure you come to the retreat next year. The other way around. Okay, I think I'll finish there for tonight. What a voice, huh? What a voice. The lion's roar. Finish with a Metta Sutta. Buddha's words on loving kindness. Says what should be done by one who is skilled in goodness and who knows the path of peace. Let them be able and upright, straightforward and gentle in speech, humble and not conceited, contented and easily satisfied, unburdened with duties, and frugal in their ways, peaceful and calm and wise and skillful, not proud and demanding in nature. Let them not do the slightest thing that the wise would later reprove, wishing in gladness and in safety. May all beings be at ease, whatever living beings there may be, whether they are weak or strong, omitting none, the great or the mighty, medium, short or small, the seen and the unseen, those living near and far away, those born and to be born. May all beings be at ease. Let none deceive another or despise any being in any state. Let none through anger or ill will wish harm upon another, even as a mother protects with her life her child, her only child. So with a boundless heart, Should one cherish all living beings, radiating kindness over the entire world, spreading upwards to the skies and downwards to the depths, outwards and unbounded, freed from hatred and ill will, whether standing or walking, seated or lying down, freed from drowsiness. One should sustain this recollection. This is said to be the sublime abiding. By not holding to fixed views, the pure-hearted one, having clarity of vision, being freed from all sense desire, is not born again into this world. And the closing homage. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagavata Buddha Vivademi Svakatua Bhagavata Namasami Supatipannoa Bhagavatua Sangha Sangho Sangham Brahmami